Alright guys, new house on the channel today, but not a new perfumer. Although I might have spoken about this house here and there in a few videos in the past, but today it's a review of 3 fragrances, a preview review of 3 of their fragrances. It's a Quinto Canto or V Canto, and the 3 fragrances are Ensis, Mea Culpa, and Mirabile. 3 different fragrances from this house, all created by Paolo Terenzi of Tiziana Terenzi, and we have a full bottle giveaway thanks to the USA distributor of Quinto Canto here to a subscriber of this channel from the USA. So if you're curious to learn about this house plus 3 fragrances, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. Yes, today I'm talking about Quinto Canto or V Canto. It's a offspring brand created by Paolo Terenzi. He's the perfumer behind his brand, and of course he is the perfumer for Tiziana Terenzi. And this is one of his other brands. I've known about this brand for probably a good 4 or 5 years. The fragrances here in this video are all launched in 2015, and they're all really great fragrances. One of them is all about patchouli, favorite note. Another one is all about vanilla, a favorite note. And another one is all green. I love green fragrances. So these definitely are solid releases, and depending on your mood or styles of fragrances you like, these would fit in those specific categories that you might be into, such as vanilla, patchouli, or green fragrances. Anyway, reviewing these 3 fragrances today, plus the giveaway. Stick around till the end. But before I get to the fragrances, if this is your first time tuning into my channel and you still haven't subscribed, please do click that subscribe button below, and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So this is how these bottles look. This is Ensis from Quinto Canto. This is Mea Culpa. And then of course, this is Mirabile. Mirabile is the one all about vanilla. Mea Culpa is all about patchouli, and Ensis is the green fragrance. These are all currently sold at So Avant-Garde. I have a link in the info box. You can click the link and head over there to find out about their fragrances. And these are all Extrait de Parfum concentration, similar concentration to Tiziana Terenzi fragrances. Extrait de Parfum concentration means the most concentrated, I should say the most concentrated form of perfume you can get in a perfume. So the oil's thicker, there's lots more oil versus alcohol in the fragrances. So they definitely last much longer than like an eau de parfum or eau de toilette, and definitely an eau de cologne. So these are, intense fragrance experiences, and they definitely work in the categories I explained. Like the vanilla is definitely all about vanilla. The patchouli is all about patchouli, but there are more things happening, and I'm going to give you the details about them. And the green one is definitely green, a very leafy fragrance. As I said, Extrait de Parfum concentration, 100 ml bottles for $1.95, and as I said, they are available at soavantgarde.com. They are the distributor of the fragrance group is the distributor of Quinto Canto, and they also own soavantgarde.com. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and start off with the first one, Ensis. Ensis is this one right here. Now, I've known about Mea Culpa and Mirabile for a while. Ensis I sampled somewhere on one of my trips back in 2019, and I immediately fell in love with it. Where I sampled it, it was really hot and humid. So this one is kind of on the fresh side, even though it has some depth to it, and woods and leaves and things like that. So it's fresh, but it's a longer lasting freshness with the notes it has. So for me, this one has definitely standout notes of leaves, green leaves. Black currant comes in, and there's some metallic touches in there with metallic notes, musk, pansy, bergamot, and lily of the valley. So those are the kind of notes that are really prominent here in this fragrance. And for me, it reminds me of just, running around or, brushing against greens and leaves and vines and ivy and things like that, because the smell is prominent. But there is something a little fruity in here, and it's the black currant note that comes in. It's a slight fruitiness. It's not overly fruity to me. So it doesn't become like a fruit bomb, and you know, some fragrances go ultra fruity. This one doesn't. This one just definitely goes more green and woody, earthy, almost like vetiver, but not quite. It's not that damp or rooty smelling. It's more the leaves itself, but lots of freshness here, and it has aromatic touches. A little bit of floral touches do come in because of the lily of the valley. After all, lily of the valley is a beautiful green flower. It smells really beautifully fresh, and it really adds a nice contrast in this particular fragrance. So I really enjoy this one, and as I said, I've tested it out when it's really warm outside. It has great longevity in the heat, but as I was testing it out for this particular review, I was really enjoying it even when it wasn't really, you know, hot outside. I do like the way it smells. The other thing I want to say about Ensis, people say it reminds them of L'Ombre dans l'eau from Diptyque. Now, I'm a fan of L'Ombre dans l'eau, and I've tried to figure out how this would remind me of L'Ombre dans l'eau. It's not. But you know what? Deep down under there, something lightly is trying to come out that does hint at it. But for me, it's a different fragrance. It doesn't smell like L'Ombre dans l'eau for some odd reason. But somewhere deep down there, it kind of hints at it a little bit. So there might be that. And even though I think they credit rose as a note here, the rose is not so prominent. And recently I featured L'Ombre dans l'eau in a video, and I said, people, you know, say it's very rosy, and for me, L'Ombre dans l'eau is not about rose. And even though it's in there, it's kind of hidden in the background, kind of like it is hidden in the background here with this fragrance of reminding me of L'Ombre dans l'eau. The fact that this doesn't have a lot of rose in it is even more of a distinction that it doesn't remind me of L'Ombre dans l'eau. Either way though, this is a great fresh green fragrance, very aromatic, earthy, green and leafy. So check it out, Ensis, a great scent from the Quinto Canto house. That is the first fragrance I'm going to talk to you about today. So the second fragrance I'm going to talk to you about today from Quinto Canto or V Canto is Mea Culpa. Always reminds me of that song from that band Enigma from the early 90s. Very religious. But Mea Culpa, my God, it's a great patchouli. But you know, this one's, even though it's a lot about patchouli, it does get sweet. It sweetens up on me. So once again, same details. It's a 100 ml bottle, 195, or Extrait de Parfum concentration. And this one, I would call it a Oriental woody fragrance. And it definitely acts like that because it's woody and earthy from the patchouli. So that's a lot of patchouli in the notes. There's benzoin, there's vanilla, there's incense. There is a note called sand as in like beach sand. Birch and slate comes in as well. Now for me, this one, when you first spray it, patchouli just completely dominates, like that takes over. It's a patchouli fragrance, but as the fragrance is drying, it sweetens up more because vanilla comes in, and of course benzoin comes in as well. Benzoin's a resin, so it has balsamic resinous touches, but also benzoin is vanillic, so in contrast with the vanilla, the syrupy contrast of vanilla in here, it does sweeten up. And as it's drying down, it still acts like patchouli, but it's a sweetened up patchouli. There's a light smokiness running throughout it from the incense note, but you know what, for me it doesn't really get too incensey. There's just light smoke running throughout it there, and also the birch note comes in as well a little bit and adds to the smokiness of the incense in here. So in the end, it gives us this experience of a slightly smoky, slightly is definitely a key word here, resinous, balsamic, sweet patchouli fragrance. You know, I would, kind of put this along with things like Javois psychedelic, fragrances like Reminiscence Patchouli, Leneride's Patchouli Antique, things like that. If you like fragrances like that, this is definitely one for you to try. The thing I want to say about this is, in comparison to those, they will smell alike, but once you dig into them, they're going to have their own unique characteristics, So this is definitely a great patchouli, really dark, earthy, woody, but definitely sweet, ambery at the same time. That's why it's called an Oriental woody fragrance, because of the sweet notes like vanilla, benzoin, and the fact that it goes ambery. So that's Mea Culpa from the house of Quinto Canto. And the last and final fragrance we're going to talk about from Quinto Canto is Mirabile, this one right here. Again, all three of the fragrances are created by Paolo Terenzi, part of Tiziana Terenzi. These are all Extrait de Parfum concentration, 100 ml for $1.95. This one I would call an Oriental fragrance. Obviously it's a vanilla, so it has to be this particular genre. And with this one, the notes are vanilla, tonka beans, apopanax, malt, milk, rum, lavender, bushu. So in the end, this is a vanilla fragrance. And even though they don't credit citruses, especially a citrus like orange, I do get some kind of an orangey touch in here. So it starts off kind of orangey, but vanilla is so prominent here, it's dominating already. And you do have a blast of vanilla at the top, so it's kind of like a contrast of vanilla with oranges. But I think I'm getting orange touch here from that apopanax note. Apopanax is, I think, sweet myrrh. So I think apopanax and myrrh generally have kind of a fizzy kind of soda-like kind of qualities, and it's definitely prominent here at the top. As I'm first starting out the fragrance, there is something bubbly happening when it starts out, almost like a vanilla Coke kind of thing happening when you first spray it. But the fragrance gets creamier and creamier as it's drying down. It becomes ambery, obviously. Milk does come through, so it does become lactonic, almost like a kind of like a vanilla caramel combo, because in the end, you make caramel with milk and things like that. So it does get creamy here, but it doesn't get burned like caramel does. So it just stays kind of lactonic, milky. But in the end, it's got lots of ambery touches, and it kind of gets a little powdery in the end. Light hints of woodiness in here, and of course, the notes give off a balsamic experience in the end. So in the end, it's a gorgeous resinous balsamic vanilla with ambery touches and lactonic touches, and it's very, very cozy to wear. It's very, very cozy. And I do get that orange fizzy kind of experience at the top, which kind of adds a unique twist to the fragrance, I quite like this one. Really, really wonderful to wear. And once again, these we're talking about fragrances from Quinto Canto or Tiziana Terenzi. They're all Extrait de Parfum concentration fragrances, so they do last a long time. They have great longevity. Projection and things like that I don't usually get into, but I only bring it up if the fragrances are really, intense fragrances. And here, they're pretty moderate. In the end, great fragrances from this house. 3 completely different: Oriental woody, Oriental, and then a green fragrance. So those are my thoughts on these 3 fragrances from the house of Quinto Canto. Let me know if you've sampled this house, if you like any of the fragrances. Are there any that you like that I didn't speak about? Put a comment down so I can find out. And now on to the giveaway. Thanks to the folks behind the brand. The distributor is the Fragrance Group, and then of course the website is soavantgarde.com. They're giving 1 bottle giveaway of choice, so you get to pick which one you like. Which one sounds the best to you, you get to pick it. For 1 subscriber of my channel from the USA. This is the distributor of this house from the USA that's sponsoring this giveaway. All you have to do is put down what you liked about this video, and then you must also include which fragrance you want and why. You must let me know why you want that one. I mean, if it's vanilla because you love vanilla, why do you love vanilla? If it's green because of Ensis, why do you like green fragrances? And then if it's the Mea Culpa for the Patchouli, let me know why you like Patchouli. Are you a patcho like I am? Anyway, guys, please do that, and make sure you're subscribed. Please do make sure you're subscribed, as I am checking subscribers that are publicly subscribed. Other than that, I appreciate you tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, please do let me know. Put a comment down so I can find out. Other than that, please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.